Yo, what is up guys, Daleboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are well. So the weigh-in for Daniel Jacobs versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. happened today. Predictably, Daniel Jacobs made the 168 pound weight limits. However, Chavez Jr. once again failed to make weight. He weighed in at nearly £5 over the 168 pound weight limits. He weighed in at 172.7 pounds. And was this fight called off? Was a replacement drafted in? I mean, Gabriel Rosado was on the undercard just in case Chavez couldn't make it through or he failed to make weight. So Rosado was actually the planned replacement opponent should anything go wrong. But was Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. struck off and taken off his card? No. Once again, the guy gets rewarded for gluttony, laziness, and the sheer disrespect of the sport. This guy is an absolute joke. He's an absolute clown, last chance saloon, and he pulls a stunt like this. He weighs in at nearly £5 over the super middleweight weight limits. The guy's an absolute disgrace. I mean, this really is his last chance. You know, his last chance at a redemption. He said he was training hard. He was taking it seriously. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. Here we are again. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fails to make weight. He fails to remain disciplined. And once again, he lets himself down. He let his father down. And he let the Mexican boxing fans down. The guy's an absolute disgrace. And he's been a disgrace for as long as I can remember. Ever since way back when this guy got preferential treatment by the WBC. You know, basically being gifted that WBC title when he had that belt. That belt was literally stolen from Sergio Martinez to be given to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He had all of the advantages in the world. He had all of the help on his side. The sanctioning bodies, you know, drug testing agencies, everything was on his side. He could do whatever he wanted and he still fucked it up. This was a guy who, you know, refused to do after-fight drug tests. I believe it was the Andy Lee fight where he didn't do a drug test after the fight. This was a guy who obviously abused various diuretics to make 160 back in the day. Nothing was ever done. This guy had free reign to do what he wanted. He had all of the advantages in the world, and my man still fucked it up. He's an absolute disgrace. He's the biggest joke in boxing. You know, he disgraced his father's name, and he disgraced the Mexican boxing fans, who had this guy's back for a long time. And he let them down. The guy is an absolute fucking idiot. He's an absolute melon. I hope Daniel Jacobs beats the absolute dog piss out of this guy, so we never see this clown again. I just want Danny Jacobs to wipe that shit-eating grin off that clown's face. He's an absolute disgrace. You know, the least he could have done was come in shape after all of the track record he's got. He could have at least taken his last chance seriously. But even now, the guy can't take it seriously. I made a prediction, not a prediction, but a preview video for this fight. And I was kind of down on Chavez Jr. I said in that video, if he's not going to take it seriously in his prime, why is he going to take it seriously now and train hard? A leopard very rarely changes its spots, and that's what's happened. Once again, Chavez Jr. makes an absolute fool of himself. But he still gets the fight. He had to pay a fine to Danny Jacobs, but he still gets paid a decent amount of money. He still gets the fight. Nothing really changes. Once again, the spoilt brat, Chavez Jr., gets rewarded, like I said, for his gluttony, his greed, his ill-discipline, and his downright disrespect of the sport. And here we are years later. This imbecile still gets chances in the sport. Only in boxing, right? Only in boxing. But there we go. Hopefully this degenerate gets mollywopped. I don't want to see him at the top level of the sport again. So hopefully Danny Jacobs can rid us of this absolute clown. Because boxing would be a better place without him, to be quite honest. But there we go. Why am I'm not really surprised. I'm just a bit mad. It's just irritating. You know, the lack of professionalism, all of the chances this guy's had, and he still messes up constantly. It's not about winning or losing, it's about turning up in shape and giving it your all. Chavez Jr. has never done that. He's a spoilt brat who has expected everything to be handed to him on a plate. That's why he's never changed. He's like Peter Pan, he's a fucking overgrown kid. Fuck this guy, man. Fuck Chavez. Hopefully he gets beat up. Peace.